Hello. For this Motivational Monday, I have a testimony that I want to share with you. And I really do hope that this encourages you in your walk with Christ. But I was at a point in my life where I was going to let go of God, not let go of Him in the sense that I'm going to go back out into the world or, I'm going to curse God and die. But I was at a point in my life where I was going to let go of His word, of His promises towards me. I was going through some trials that really were testing my faith and my relationship with God to the point where I felt like God was not hearing me. He wasn't understanding me. He didn't even care, And I'm like, my situation is it seems so hopeless. It seems so, you know, um, like there's no way out. I mean, can God do what He says that He will do, that He'll never leave me nor forsake me? And I was just so low on hope, so low on, expectation for God to come through for me that I started to doubt whether or not God could do what He said He can do. And so it was a Sabbath. And so I was looking for, a church to visit. And in my despair, I was just like, I don't want to go to this church, but, let me try this church. And so I ended up going to a church where the pastor was speaking a sermon on trials. And the title of his sermon, I remember, Is There Anything Too Hard for God? And the moment I heard the sermon, I was just like, oh boy, here we go. God is about to hand me by behind. And I was just like, okay, God, so clearly you're hearing me. Clearly you're hearing my thoughts. You're reading my mind. What's going on? Why have you answered my prayer? Why are you allowing all this stuff to happen? Why are you basically, I'm in this corner and you're trying, and I don't see you helping me. I don't see you coming through for me. And the whole point of the sermon was to bring me back to, like, what are you doing? Remind me of Job. Remind me of Joseph. Like, is there anything really too hard for God? And so my takeaway from that was, what are you doing, Tosh? Like, are you serious? You're really going to give up on me? Like, isn't it at your hardest? Isn't it at your most discouraged? Isn't that at the points in your life where you're about to break? Aren't those the moments that usually bring forth the biggest testimonies? And is there anything too hard for me? I'm sitting here doubting whether or not God can come through for me. And he was like, I am God. Is there really anything too hard for me? Think, is there anything too hard for me? Why do you doubt that I can come through for you for this one simple thing? And I want to share with you one of the verses that has been my guiding force in my life, because I'm still going through temptations. I'm still going through trials, and the harder they come, it's the more I realize that I need to rest on God's word. And so I'm going to share with you one of my guiding texts, and it's from Jeremiah 32, verse 27. And it says, Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? And whenever I think about where I am and what I'm going through, God reminds me, Tosh, like, there's nothing too hard for me. And you have to understand that what I'm allowing you to go through, it's not to hurt you, but it's to grow you. It's to strengthen you. It's to give you an expected end. It's to give you a testimony so that you can testify. Through the process, you might not see it, and maybe you'll see it later on, that your strength is growing, your faith is growing, our communication is better. And had I taken away those things in those moments you wanted me to take them away, you would not have the experience that you have now, being able to share with others. So my encouragement to you is, if you're feeling like your case is hopeless, if you're feeling like there's no way out, remember that we serve a God that speaks things into existence. He's the God of all flesh. He's the God of gods. He's the God of the universe. There is nothing that was created without him. He's the God who parts waters. He's the God who walks on waters. There's nothing in your life that you need, have, going through that is too hard for God to handle. And so that's my encouragement to you. Remember this verse. Remember. Write it on a post-it, stick it where you'll see it, where it will encourage you. Set reminders. Whatever it is that you're going through, there's nothing too hard for God. And that is my encouragement for you today. Be encouraged.